Well, hello everyone and welcome to the Darwin Incident episode 7. Last time we had a school shooting was pretty much the whole wrap up there at the end, where Gale, he goes and as part of the egging on by Max and the ALA, he goes and commits a school shooting with I think the goal of the actual action is still a bit ambiguous, but I think the point most likely is to get Charlie to subdue him so that they can then, I don't know, either frame Charlie as like a hero and like use his, like give him more publicity so he can like maybe promote the ideas of the ALA or something like that. Or maybe it's to turn Charlie against society by maybe or maybe having him betrayed as a hero, but then say those police officers that we hate are like going to come in and maybe try and attack him or something like that. And that'll like make him hate society and he'll go and join the ALA or something like that, you know? So I don't know where it's going. I'm very interested. It ended with a cliffhanger. Did Gale kill the teacher or did Charlie come in and step in and save her or something? I'm very excited. Let's get started. Ooh, Gale flashback. Interesting. Charlie's taking his time to, like, subdue him. Oh, this guy. I hate this guy. Oh, he went to the school. Damn, it's an old school. So 76 likes, 1,000 dislikes. That's very funny. Oh my goodness. Is there a view count? No, no view count. It is funny because this is literally the YouTube UI. Interesting. All right. 4,000 viewers. Okay, there we go. 4,000 viewers on YouTube. Interesting. He's helping people. Please take it the right way. He's helping. Oh my god. Ugh. Oh, she's a legal advisor. Interesting. Makes sense why she wants to like sue the US government or whatever for Charlie. He's helping. He brought people to be recovered. Alright, good. Alright, hopefully this will change. Oh, is that the teacher? Man. Lucy's in that room right now. I'm sure this will achieve a lot, Gale. My god. There's no way he only has 24 subscribers after this. Oh my god. Oh. Maybe get out of the schoolyard? Oh my god. Oh, he's gonna save Lucy. Oh my god. Okay, you have an advantage. He doesn't know exactly where you are. Now would be the time to attack him, right? Oh my god. You gotta do something. You idiot. Oh my god, what are you doing? Just pretend to be vegan. Oh my god. There's no way. No way. Say, you gotta say yes. Say, just lie. Say yes. Wow. He didn't check if the teacher was vegan. It is interesting Gale and Charlie haven't interacted yet. Is this a suicide? What is this? Oh no. Trying to convince Charlie. He's still a child. Okay, they want him to be the leader. Okay. Yeah, suicide. Is it gonna work? Pre-recorded? Did Charlie get him? What happened? Wow. There's no way he drops it.
道で小さな生き物に会ったんだ。すぐに数人の大人が来て豚をトラックに乗せていった。それから多くのことを知れば知るほど、行動を起こせば起こすほど。
Wow.
なんでだろう。あの日の彼らの鳴き声がどんどん大きくなって頭の中で。
Good music, man.
どんどん。
Whoa! Oh my god. Wow. That was sick. Oh my god. I was not expecting that. Charlie really is the middle ground, isn't he? Goddamn Max, man. Man, Lucy's mom better be really thankful for Charlie, my god. Oh my god. I love that. I love that shot. That was awesome. But they got stuck in traffic. Oh, we're doing some artistic things. My god. I like the light changing the, like, giving them shadows and stuff. Was the Secret Service? What is this? Oh, the government representative. Why? I mean, I think that's pretty fair. Yeah, but he was there at the end when with Gale. Aww. Aww. The music this episode is so good. That looks so different. Criminal psychology. Charlie is so nonchalant. I'm interested in this. Very cute. Did it affect him at all? Oh my god. Of course he is. He should work in cooperation with the police. He most definitely is not normal. Oh my god, this can go terribly. Her mom is gonna freak out if she realizes she's not home. Oh no, why are we getting this shot? Is she gonna get kidnapped? Oh, we got the local racists coming in. Alright. Damn. That was a good episode. Alright. So that was a fantastic episode. That was the best episode of the season. Like, by far, definitely. I felt the most emotion. I felt the most engaged. That was the best just directing and animation and everything. I think this was really fantastic. So I like this episode a lot. Like, I was just like constantly on the edge of my seat, like trying to figure out what's going to happen next, or like anticipating what was going to happen next, I guess, more so than even trying to figure it out. So I liked it. It was really good. And it is interesting because we're not really, like, you'd figure something like this would be like a second last episode of the season or something like that, but we almost have like half the show left still. So I don't know, I'm excited to see where it goes. And I guess Max also announced in this that, you know, Act 1 is over and we're starting Act 2 now. So, oh my god, how exciting. Another thing that was really good in this episode was the music too. I think I've like every now and then I think I pointed out, oh, that's interesting music in the past episodes. But in this scene, in this episode, there were like two particular scenes that I think had really good music. One of them was this was the best like scene both in the episode and scene in terms of music, which was Gale talking about his childhood experience of seeing that pig on the road. And the music is like so good. And it kind of, as he's like reminiscing and talking about, not reminiscing, I guess, but talking about his past, and the music is like getting very more like, it's still like very tranquil and quiet or whatever, or like emotional or whatever, but it's also getting like faster and faster. And it's like, oh, this is like crazy. So I really like that. But the scene itself is also like very interesting. Like Gale is relating, he's thinking back to a moment in his childhood, or the moment in his childhood is probably the better way to put it, that like led him to where he is now. Like, on an otherwise normal day when he's on a picnic, he just sees this, like, pig on the road. And it, like, stuck with him, like, to this day. It was, like, a little thing. Like, it was that little inciting incident that led to, like, him eventually valuing animals so much and, well, like, thinking about their struggle so much and leading him eventually to this school shooting, unfortunately. It was super interesting, though, because I feel like we can all relate to, like, moments like that in our childhood where we think about, like, where did this idea I have start, you know? And you think back to like a specific moment, you're like, yeah, that was really it, wasn't it? Like, it really just stuck with me until this day. Like this little, like for instance, for Gale, seeing this pig just like getting picked up and being like, man, that was just, something happened there. And it just, I don't know. I thought it was super interesting and like descriptively real. So I like that a lot. And the other scene with the good music was, I don't remember exactly, but I think it was the scene with the police officer guy that we hated last episode, but now we like, he grew on me a little bit. He was being nice and all, and he had this cool phrase about possession is 9/10 of the law, which I looked up like right afterwards, and apparently it's like a thing, like a phrase that people say, but I just wasn't aware of it. But it's when he's saying that to Charlie's mum, and he like walks away all cool and stuff, and the music is great. So good music, good scene, good episode, really good episode. I liked it a lot. But now I have a few miscellaneous, like very quick notes we can go through. And then the bulk of my notes are on Charlie. Now I don't have too much to say still, like overall, but I have a few things that I want to say specifically about Charlie, because there's a lot of stuff here. But firstly, just a few miscellaneous things. One is that we now, at least through Gale, now I think we can trust Gale. Like I think Max was probably telling him the truth about this. But through Gale, we see that the goal of the ALA seems to be to have Charlie become the leader of it. Which makes sense. This is what it felt like they were leading toward, like up until this point. But there were many paths they could go, and it seems that this is the one they're going with. So, okay. Now that, like, Charlie has kind of gone down a very unexpected path, it is possible this plan is going to change from Max, but that was at least seemingly the plan up until this point. So interesting to finally get it confirmed, I guess. As confirmed as can be, I guess, with Gale here. So yeah, that's one thing. And actually, I only have one other miscellaneous note, which is about technology. And this show has done a decent job, especially this episode, of just having technology be portrayed very accurately. And there's like two things that particularly stand out. One is that they have like a bunch of iPhones in this where, and you can tell from the camera array and like the actual way that, like the way the buttons are structured and stuff, where I'm like, man, this is like clearly modeled after like a real iPhone and stuff. So that was kind of cool. Like you get, sometimes in shows you get like fake phones or like just like random phones that you can't really identify. But in this, it's like, oh, they're in America. iPhones are like dominant there, we'll have iPhones. So that's kind of cool. But the second thing, which I've like hinted at, or not hinted at, which I've like pointed out in reactions, and I think maybe depending on if I included in this, like I spent a long time just looking at it here, but the YouTube UI, it's incredibly, like it is perfectly accurate. Like I'm a person who streams on YouTube on my main channel. Go check out Elite Aria. It's where I stream every Friday. Now, it's just incredibly accurate. Like it has the top chat, the live chat, it has like the likes and the people commenting, like it has the icons, it has like a subscribe button. It's like the exact same. And it's like kind of crazy in that I'm kind of surprised that they were willing to integrate such a clear like app into like such a dark subject matter of like a school shooting. I figured like, I know maybe it's like weird because it's like an international thing, like it's Japan is producing this and YouTube is like an American company or something like that, but I know like in American media, like when you're making Hollywood stuff in America, and then if you have brands in there or any form of intellectual property, then you're not going to be allowed to show it. You need to get the rights to do it. That's my understanding. So it is interesting. Maybe like UI elements aren't like considered under that. Like you can show them because they aren't necessarily like a copyright thing or a trademark thing. Like maybe if they had the YouTube logo, then that would be a bit step too far. But here I guess I'm just like a little surprised that they could like so explicitly portray YouTube here. But I like it. It's really cool. So I'm glad they did, because it makes it feel more real. Like I've seen YouTube live streams, that look exactly like that. I've done YouTube live streams, right, that have that UI, so it's kind of cool. But yeah, those are my two miscellaneous notes. Now, the rest of my notes are about Charlie, and I have two particular points that I want to talk about. One is about what happens in this episode where Gale is once again telling Charlie that if he continues to believe that he is an individual and not some symbolic bridge that needs to like advocate for animal rights, if he refuses to do that and he continues to just behave and believe he's an individual, then Gale is like saying that you're an evil person. You are upholding the oppression of animals that is going on. Because of your inability or like your lack of desire to act on this, you are a morally reprehensible person, is what Gale is telling him here. And this is like, I vehemently disagree with this. Like it is like a very visceral thing where I'm like, Charlie doesn't, like he doesn't, like it just makes me feel bad, where I'm like, Charlie does not have to, just because of the way Charlie was born, the facts of his genetics, it doesn't mean he owes you anything. Like, it doesn't mean he owes the animals anything. He didn't choose to be born this way, right? It just happened. Like he wasn't even, like he was an experiment that was created that he had no control over, and he just happened to be born this way, and he's still a kid. It's just like, you can't force this guy or guilt trip him like by telling he is like a moral failure or something just because of the fact of his biology. I just find it like the true evil here is the person making him feel bad about his genetics. Like it is just, I don't know. It really rubs him the wrong way. Now, like Charlie is, okay, there's a few things to say. One is that Charlie is a person like everyone else, He lives a life like everyone else. He goes to school. He has a family. He has friends. Like he shouldn't have to feel guilty for the way that he was born. And I just don't like it. So yeah. But like, then on the other hand, it's like, okay, to make Gale a bit more empathetic, like a scenario could happen where I could be on his side. And that would be if the bridge between the species here, Charlie, if Charlie had been growing up, or like even now in this moment, if he was using the facts of his genetics, like the way that he was born, his unique position as the bridge between species, if he was using that to his advantage, and then refusing to also advocate for the suffering of animals, then I would say that that is a thing. That's the time where you can like tell Charlie that he's being a bad person for selectively getting the advantages of his genetics without also advocating for the power that he can actually, or the good change he can make for the world with it. Then I could understand Gale. But Charlie isn't doing that. He's just living a life like everyone else, right? He goes about his day. He like has his family. He like goes to school. Like he hangs out with Lucy. Like he's not trying to utilize his existence to his advantage. He just wants to live a life. And I think it's wrong to kind of force him to do that by like telling him that he is evil if he doesn't. Like I just don't like it. Now this is good. This is all good storytelling stuff because like like I understand Gale's perspective. I just think he's applying it to like the only person who this doesn't apply to, because there are plenty of people who I could imagine are just like Charlie, who could not like in real life, whatever. I have no idea, but like in a story like this, I could imagine there being many other different versions of Charlie that this would apply to, like a symbolic bridge of the species who goes and enriches himself. He goes on podcasts and talks about like the fact that like, man, aren't I so cool? Like you should pay me money, like stuff like this, and like at the same time just ignoring or like being willing to dismiss like the suffering of animals that he is like partly using their genetics to his advantage. Like I would understand that to chastise him for that, but he's just not like that. And I like it. It is like, it's very compelling of a story thing to make me, on one hand, like understand where Gale is coming from, but just see that it's like a flawed thing because Charlie isn't what you're wanting him to be. Or like he isn't even the flawed person you think he is. Like he's just a person that wants to live like everyone else. It's interesting. I like it. Yeah, good story. But my other thing about Charlie is that we continue to get lack of any facial expression or like not even actually in this episode. I was going to say like, well, last episode, I guess in all these episodes so far, I've been saying that Charlie has lacked any facial expressions when it comes to expressing emotion. But this episode, it's basically a complete lack of expressing of any emotions. Like he doesn't express them through his expressions on his face. He doesn't express it through like the tone of his voice. He also doesn't express it through the like nature of his words or anything like that, or even necessarily his behaviors, which is interesting. Like I read a comment, so that, like someone called Towering Tosca, maybe you're listening right now. I hope you are, thank you for the good comments. I've been reading all of them and I have appreciated them and I've taken them into heart. And I'm very happy. They're all interesting. I've got a bunch of comments last time, especially some about like the vegan argument and stuff, which I find really interesting. I'm not very well versed on any of this, so it is cool to hear perspectives and everything. But anyway, so last episode, Towering Tosca left a comment where they were talking about how this was a really interesting point actually, which I hadn't considered, and I like it a lot, which is that the point of Charlie not expressing emotions could be that, like animals, the way that he expresses emotions is different to humans, where maybe he doesn't maybe a smile to Charlie, like it's a smile on his face doesn't mean the same thing as like a smile on a human, right? Like, there's like a bunch of animals, like I think even in like chimpanzees and stuff, right? The thing that people say is that like when they smile, they're showing their teeth, and that actually is a sign of like fear or like a sign of aggression rather than like happiness or whatever. So it's like, oh, animals can actually express emotions in different ways, and Charlie's lack of emotions on his face or like through his voice or stuff like that doesn't necessarily mean he isn't feeling them. It's actually meant to, like, if anything, it's meant to show the audience that like you shouldn't rely on people's expressions to understand their emotions, in the same way that you shouldn't like take away the emotions of animals just because they can't display them, which I think is an interesting point. I think, yeah, Towering Tosca made a good point there, which I like. Now, I don't actually know if this is going to be a thing, like, as we go on, because I think this works really well if it is about the emotions and the voice. But, like, Charlie truly, even when asked by Lucy at the end of this episode about, like, if he needs counseling, or, like, when she brings up the idea of PTSD and stuff, he doesn't even use his words to express it. He doesn't say, like, oh, that was a traumatic experience, or, like, I didn't like it. He doesn't really express any of this. And his behavior doesn't, like, match up with any of it. So it's like, I don't know if this is the point we're going to, like, I don't know if this is going to be the point, I guess, going on. I think it's a really interesting idea, and I kind of hope they do go with this, because it is cool, and it, like, reinforces the theme through, like, a little, like, cool element of the character. But I'm getting the feeling that just based on the last reaction Charlie has, where all he took away from that experience was, oh, I should go shut down the ALA. Like, it's a very nonchalant kind of disposition he has, and he's just going to go and do it. Like, he doesn't say, like, oh, I can't believe they killed all these people, or, like, making it more explicit, I guess, in his, like, he never conveys the feelings in any way, which I feel like if he was able to do that some way, then I'd be like, man, I get the point. Like, it is interesting if he does. I don't know. Basically, I don't know if this is going to go that way, but it is an interesting comment that was brought up, so I just wanted to, bring it up myself. So anyway, that's all I got for this episode. It was a really good episode. I'm very excited to see where the rest of the show goes. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and see you next time. Oh, I guess also, just before I end, I should shout out the people, because you've been leaving a bunch of comments. So we've got, like I said, Towering Tosca, who's left a bunch of comments about, like, the perspective of animals and all that. And we've got Beast VG123, who left a very long, like, philosophical kind of comment talking about the positions of, like, or the ethics of the situation about animal suffering, which I thought was super interesting. So yeah, thank you for that. We've got the Canadian Food, who says that the anime is underrated. So cool, we love that. It probably is a little bit underrated. You know, no one watches this. And then we've got Fenghorn Zob, which says, yes, it was a great episode, dark and real, true. Then we have KFP Hunter 1315, who's talking about how the fact that Charlie can speak makes him the important middle position between the humans and the animals and all that. And yeah, you know, so thank you for all the comments. I do read them all. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.